Oh yeah!
Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome to Planet Coaster 2 with Cookie Pirate. Dale, we're late. Yeah, sorry, I had a few things to do. I set up the broadcast, and then a couple things came up that I just had to take care of, and it ended up taking longer than I wanted to. Velocity, what's going on, man? Welcome. Okay, so tonight we're just going to be kind of hanging out. We'll check out some stuff. I want to mess around, but I do want to tease a couple ideas for an upcoming park. Sorry, I still have a couple things I'm dealing with. Okay, so I actually did find that old save file, and so let's go in. This is an old version of Splash Harbor, the old tropical park that I had, and I haven't opened this since I last downloaded it to restore the park after the save file was corrupted, so I don't even know what I have. Wow. Day 29? Wow. Hey, what's going on, Crazanity? I've made it to the hotel. The hotel is about 20 minutes from Kings Island. We'll be at the park tomorrow. Awesome, man. So, no lazy river volcano. No, I guess I did that after this. So this was before I even did that. Holy cow. So I'll point a couple things out. This was completely undone. The pirate section didn't exist. Oh, wow. Okay, holy cow. Yeah, so let's just look at some of this. Oh, dang! Okay. I'm gonna put the water back in so you can see this in the way it was supposed to look. Jeez. Boo. Hey, well, take a look. We actually did have the, this was the original monorail. I don't even remember what this was. This is where the new Kraken ride is, or was, or something kind of close in this area. Little solar panel farm back over here. Was this coaster completed? I think... Oh, snap! This was the original version. This is the... This may be the one that I need to restore. I'm getting flashbacks, Cookie. Me too, man! So, like, this was the entrance we placed. This connected out into this hole. We have the quadruple circle giant pool. And somehow this had a 4-star rating. Oh, wow! I forgot about this, too! Take a look at this! These water slides in the middle of the park. What? Golly, man, this really makes me miss this. So this was the original Kraken that I built. I built this coaster by hand. And I had a little bit of help with the station. And then here's the tidal pool with the mermaid's kiss. Statue with the mermaid. We get the waterfall in the background. Oh, we've got the original RMC Mamba that I made. Golly, man. What do y'all want to see? I've got such horrid Wi-Fi here. Okay, so we do have the Impulse. Back here, yeah, we have the original Splash Coaster. So, rather than it being moved like over here off the side, the Splash Coaster used to be in the back of the park. This is actually the original version. I still think that pool and the water slides were the coolest design and feature in the park, aside from, you know, the lazy river with the volcano. Hope you're not on AT&T. Can you look at one of my builds later? Yeah, we can, for sure. And then we have the... Yeah, okay, so we do have the Lazy River Rapids. Lazy River Rapids. Actually, this is a pretty wild river rapids. Okay, the gold mine train. So this is actually... This is one of the very few rides from way back when that was not changed at all. I want to see the monorail. You would! We have the Impulse Coaster. So that's another one that actually was not really changed. And we have... Wait, I remember this. This thing was... This did not do very well. But this was a mock splash coaster. Is that Mako 1.0? No, it was Mako 2.0. I guess I should call the one in the most current edition of the Tropical Park Mako 2.1. Or Mako 3.0, I don't know. We can look at the monorail, though. There's really not much going on, so we never even... Oh, boy. Are we gonna be, like, backed up here for a century? Closed. Cannot open. Why can't it open? Hang on. Oh, it's broken down. It needs a mechanic. Aqua Cruiser, rest in peace. Alright, let me get a mechanic to fix this real quick. Please, pretty please. No, go the other way. I need it fixed, please. Okay. Oh, wait, is this not? Nope. Oh, so we're getting... Okay, so hang on a second. We're getting somebody from somewhere else in the park to come fix this, as opposed to the mechanic that we just put down. Okay, but to be fair, she's running pretty quick. Gotta give her credit. This is a great park. Well, in this form, it was and it wasn't. If I may say so. But yeah, I put a ton of work into the Tropical Park and had so much fun with it. Actually, in the meantime, while they're fixing that, I do want to check out this version of of Mako. Don't remember the code, so you'll have to go to my workshop page. Should be on page 1. We can look. It's fine. I want to see how much different this is. I think it's just a small realignment. Yeah, Velocity, we will. Oh yeah, that needs smoothing. I forgot about this whole thing. I think this got smoothed in a later revision. And that helix was kind of a piece of junk. That was really rough. This was kind of wonky. That was very wonky, yeah, so you can see just a bunch of the transitions. Wait, no, there is that weird offset on that hill. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to go back and compare the versions, but I may take this and upload it and just do like a comparison of them. And the test. Oh yeah, I forgot I got an excitement on this of 8.2. Actually, the nausea is a little bit high. It's in the orange. Mako 2. Stupid. Alright, man. Take your time. No rush. And then Jimpers came in and redid the thing. So Jimpers actually completely rebuilt the coaster and actually converted the type into one of the hypers with like the splashdown. So if you're thinking of Intimidator, or well, Thunder Striker now at Carowinds, and Diamondback at Kings Island, where they have the staggered seating and the splashdown element, so that's what he remade it into. And Jimpers came in and rebuilt the entire discography of coasters. Yeah. What's going on, Strawberry Jam? How are you? Yeah, so, oh well, with the testing there, something probably sat on the brakes of the lift hill. Be riding Diamondback tomorrow. Let us know how it is, man. So, yeah, over here we had the restaurant with the, I forgot about this. This was the original one. So we had the 2 restaurants and we had all of the surf tables up here. But what this was more of an overlook of the wave pool right back here. And then the coaster did have that pass around on the helix in front of this side, but the entire restaurant didn't get a view of it, like they do in the current version of the park. And I completely forgot about most of this over here. I think the pirate thing was the next thing that we did. Alright, well, the monorail's moving. Where's this? Oh, it's toward the back of the park. So we've got this long tunnel. This is way before we had the railroads with the cavern, with the pirate shootout and the grotto and the gems and the hidden treasure and all of that stuff. That wasn't even a thought at this point, because the monorail was the original plan, and I accidentally somehow managed to delete it, and I'm like, well, crap. Let's go ahead and do a regular train station, I suppose. And that's how we ended up with that. So that actually worked out for the better, but I do prefer monorails over the regular railroads, just because they're faster. They actually do give you a little bit of a better view. I also got a magic seat on Magnum. The airtime on Magnum was violent as hell. I loved it. 163 credits. Now, we'll be at 177 if I get all the creds at Kings Island. I hope you do, man. Yeah, certainly keep us posted. Oh, that's cool. We get the, yeah, just look at the profiling of that hill, though. This coaster definitely needed some smoothing. Heidi Kala. Heidi Kala, get your butt on the train and sit down and ride. I'm not trying to impersonate any sort of accent. I don't even know what it was. Wish I could showcase. I made a low-key fire RMC iBox on Ultimate Coaster 3. Oh, yeah. Yeah, can't showcase that. What you can do is, record a video of it, get OBS, don't do a live stream, just record, and then you can upload it to your channel. I take it past Cookie didn't realize he could use the redo button and restore the monorail. It wasn't that, it was that I was doing other things, and by the time I realized the monorail was gone, it was too late, because I think you can only undo like 20 or 30 things, or whatever the number is, but believe me, I clicked back and did the undo and undo and undo as far back as I could go, and there was no way to restore it. But people voted and said, let's do a regular train station, as opposed to the monorail, anyway, so it worked out. This is the original Kraken that I built. I'll give you a POV on that here in a bit. Look at the brilliant shark feature. Yeah, well, that actually does still exist in the current park. I'm at a whopping 4 credits. My newest credit is a microcoaster, Oval 1 Sky Rangers at Tomfoolery. Hey! Credit's a credit, man. A credit is a credit. Oh, and I forgot about so this was the original dive that we had too. Holy cow, I'm forgetting about all of this stuff. Golly. Yeah, we gotta go back and check a couple of these things out. I'm not gonna do these because this is the same as it was. This thing was a piece of junk. The wild mouse back here is a piece of junk. But this was completely built by hand. I built that by hand. I built this by hand. Brawlmake eventually came in and redid it for me a little bit. I built this by hand. I built that by hand. I built Mako by hand. I built this version of Kraken by hand. I built that by hand before people were like, man, your coasters, they didn't actually say this. But in my head I was thinking, because of what they did made it so much better, I'm thinking in my head, they're like, man, your coasters suck. We gotta give it some love. So I actually do want to check this out. This was the original idea for a dive coaster. And this was before, if some of you remember, when we had the dive coaster that was kind of volcano inspired, and then we had that Schwarzkopf right next to it back here. So this is what came before that. This was the very original dive coaster that we put. So we can actually get on this and do a POV here. So we'll go into the station and we'll do front bumper POV, I suppose. Yeah, it is Dino Dukes. This coaster, I will say, though, was actually a ton of fun to build. I wasn't super happy with the results, but everybody else was like, ah, that's actually really good. Speaking of wild mice, I got the spinning mouse credit at Cedar Point today. Just spun like a top, and it might just be the best wild mouse I've ridden. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that was a bit rough there. And then we had this awkward split lift. I think my first stream I watched was when you made that RMC, was it? Alright, welcome back, man. I think I prefer it over Ragin' Cajun at Six Flags America, which also spun like a top. Yeah, I've heard that was another really good one. So I guess that's telling you something. Yeah, just look at this drop though. Wicker Man, lift. Reverse Wicker Man, yeah. Working on a Giga right now. Awesome. It's like we ran into the back of that train right there. Oh, man. Oh, all three of them are backed up at the station. That's hilarious. Oh, wait a second. No, they're 5 cars long. Never mind. That's very odd. Ever since the narrow dive came out, I haven't used the 10-seater dive, and you know what? I probably would not either. I do wish they would let you choose the 8-seater. I think that was like Shikra, and I don't remember if Griffin at Busch Gardens Williamsburg is 8 wide or 10 wide. I haven't been on it, so... The last time I was at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, it didn't exist. It had actually just been announced. Construction hadn't even started on it. That was back in the day. They actually had the Le Mans Raceway, which were like those little tracked... They weren't go-karts, but they had the cars that you would step on the pedals and make them go, and they were right along the track there. Griffin is the 10-seater? Okay. I like the 10-seater dives more in real life. Yeah, Shikra I think is 8, and the original Oblivion, the prototype, was 6. I think 8 is a nice number. Well-rounded and all, but... Oh, is Tormenta 8 also? I did not know that. I knew Shikra was. Oh yeah, then we had the little boardwalk section back here with all of this crap. And the wild mouse. Alright, last thing I really want to show. We've seen the surf coaster isn't too terribly radically changed. But we can look at that another day. Oblivion is an 8? I swore it was 6. Was it originally 6 and maybe they switched out the cars? But anyway, I actually really want to showcase the original Kraken. So this... Yeah, this was the first coaster in this park that I built. And I know I've said going back to the original... Or not the original, but the current version of the Tropical Park. That the Mako is the oldest one in the park that still exists. And that's because we removed this, Jimpers remade it, and it got relocated way back here. But I don't know, this coaster, unlike any of the original ones in the Viking Park, this just has a special place in my heart. It's always been 8. You're thinking of what the RCT dive trains look like? Oh, maybe. Yeah. Not always 8, dang. I really, this is sentimental to me a little bit, the original Kraken that I built in this park. I started the Viking Park. That was my first, as I've mentioned, you've heard me say, that was my first full-scale park in this game that I built. Back in January last year. But I actually did not start the Tropical Park until the beginning of summer last year. And this, as you could tell by these first 2 coasters, Kraken and Mako, this park is very heavily inspired originally by my trip to SeaWorld Orlando last year at the end of March. So, this is just special to me. I remember being so stoked on Cookie using this track for the coaster. Except it wasn't set. I had to go back in and set it right now before riding it, but yeah. Wait for it. Did we not have it here yet? Yeah, maybe not. And we hit the block brakes there. Suddenly I feel the forces murdering me. Oh no! Okay. So actually this was the very original version of this, before we revamped it a little bit. I don't know if I have a way to go back and get the redone. So before this got completely scrapped, and had Jimpers rebuild it over in this section of the park. I did go back and revamp some elements of this coaster. As you could tell, like the pre-drop didn't have any banking. It also kind of did have a little bit of a slope down. So we revamped that. I want to say the vertical loop, that was not custom. I don't think it ever was. The 0G, the Batwing, mid-course where you drop down here into this little cavern, the vertical loop. So this took a very direct inspiration from Kraken and SeaWorld Orlando. Number 1 having the second vertical loop, number 2 having it partially below ground. You just go back to September 2025 live streams. Yeah, I'd have to go back that far. Actually, maybe even a little bit more. That helix is so square. The helix really said blue. Yeah, look at that. That was bad. That was one of the first things I went back and redid, but I tried that helix completely custom. And so, one thing when you're building a coaster, build the terrain around your coaster. Because what I did at this time, and I didn't really know better at the time, I built the coaster around the terrain. And it is kind of square and janky. But this was so much fun to build. I had to totally Totally different layout right in the front of the park. Oh, and then you used to be able to go back this. I forgot about this. Yeah, this cut off back here. Oh, and then we have this janky RMC. If you want to see something ridiculous, we'll check out the RMC. This actually was a lot of fun. But it's janky. Alright, man, we'll get that code here in just a few minutes. So this actually had a fair bit of inspiration from Air Force One. You'll see particularly what I'm referring to. And it was determined that this just was way too unrealistic. And then I came into your chat in the month of February. Was it February? I thought it was a little bit earlier. I gotta go eat dinner, don't know when I'll be back. Alright, man, we'll have a good dinner, and hopefully we'll catch you later, but if not, have a good rest of the evening. We'll see you soon. Not even doing the layout, and I already see the area inspo. Yeah. Well, you'll see it in particular a little bit later. There's a very specific element which screams Air Force One. I joined 5 into your chat 5 months ago. I thought it was a little bit further back than that, but okay. It feels like longer. Also ended up getting Steel Vengeance Row 11. Awesome. Oh, that was a quad down. I forgot about that. And ladies and gentlemen, the best part of the ride coming up ahead. And I wasn't talking about that sneak heartline roll right there. In that last turn, you basically get a head chopper with that giant freaking oak tree. I don't want to hear your lawsuits. Oh, brutal. That's a big part of why I did not keep this. I don't remember. Did we go beyond vertical with this? I think we did right there. And I want to say, because I built this after going on Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens. So, Iron Gwazi has a 91 degree beyond vertical drop, and I think I tried to do the same thing here. It was like 91 degrees. The ejector I got on Steel Vengeance in row 11 was insane. It's back at my number 1. Fury is back at number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, on the count of 3, our friend Crazanity in chat, I want you to read the account that he is posting from and shout the last 3 letters very loudly. 1, 2, 3. Out! The lightning one out! How dare you disrespect Fury like that? Bonsai, how's it going, man? No, in all seriousness, I'm kidding. Oh man, that's awesome. So Maddox coasters or Velocituber, and he's been here what? I don't know, less than a week. He's one of the newest viewers, along with Bonsai, but he got the hint. You're gonna fit in perfectly here. So, I haven't been on Steel Vengeance, in all seriousness now. I've not been on Steel Vengeance, and I have heard a number of people go back and forth over whether Steel Vengeance or Iron Gwazi is the best. And so I can't say since I haven't been on Steel Vengeance, but I absolutely loved Iron Gwazi. But I debate sometimes. I go back and forth whether I would put Iron Gwazi or Fury at number 1. And the other one is definitely second. The thing that I absolutely love about Fury, and the reason that I personally would keep it at number 1 most of the time, is I've got to say that just has such good consistent floater, which I absolutely love. And it's fast, it's mild. Well, no, it's not mild. It's actually pretty extreme, but compared to Iron Gwazi, I find it relatively mild, if it's not running, like, furiously hot. Pun not really intended there, but we'll go with it anyway. Iron Gwazi packs such a massive punch, and it's so fun. The elements are incredible, but it's non-stop, and it's a very short coaster. In terms of ride duration, not length, because it hauls throughout its entirety. And that's what I'm torn on. Are those pops of ejector that are numerous but also shorter lived, are those better than incredible sustained floater that you get on Fury? And that's where you kind of have to draw the line and determine which you prefer. Are you going to be riding viewers' coasters today? Yes, we will, Bonsai. We all know what Point Coaster's answer would be. Also got a Millie front row ride today. Some actual ejector on the massive camelbacks. Awesome. Yeah, so I am definitely going to keep this. And I want to save these and maybe upload them to the workshop, let people play around with them. I might even just give people an old version of the park. And real quick, what I'll do is actually go into the most recent version of the park, and you can kind of see how far it's come. That was day 29, I think that was. And this is going to be like day 80-something, I'm pretty sure. In my opinion, Fury's better. See, and I would agree with you in most cases. But on a day that Fury is not running well, and on the times that Iron Gwazi was absolutely ballin'. Okay, nope, day 90. And you can see how much different everything in this park is. In fact, really the only thing that remains as it existed, take a look right here. Good old Mako. But we actually did reprofile a couple things on this. Everything else has been removed or moved. So the Surf Coaster's back here. This is the newer version of it. The new Kraken back here. Ah! Well, the River Rapids is there, and the mine train didn't change. But now the RMC's back over here. It's actually like a true RMC layout. That was a lot of the feedback that I got on that original RMC that I built. Is it was a double out and back layout. It just wasn't really realistic, even though it had a lot of like fun elements. But we just have much better stuff now. The pool got removed. Actually, do I even have a pool in here? Other than the indoor complex? No. I don't really like Iron Gwazi's shortness. That is a little bit of a drawback, but for how short the ride is, it packs. There's not a single dead moment on that coaster. It packs such extremity into... I don't remember exactly how long the ride is, but I think the actual, like, disregard the lift hill, I want to say the prime ride time is maybe like 50 seconds or something like that, maybe a little more. But it packs so much into all of that, and it's extreme. It's very intense. It doesn't let up at all. Even Fury lets up a little bit. But I do think Fury is a more comprehensive experience. Could you ride mine? By the way, it's the one with the wrong type of coaster type for not going upside down. Yeah, we can check it out. We're going to look at yours. We're going to look at Velocitubers or Maddox coasters. Low-key making a Minecraft version of Cedar Point. Wow. My goal at Great America is not much, just get on Goliath. Also, the restraints on Gwazi, I mean, they're typical RMC. I didn't find them horrible. Let me upload it to the workshop. Yep, yeah, please do so, so I can check it out. Band player, what's going on, man? But yeah, you can definitely see kind of some remnants of kind of what originally was going on in this park back from the previous version. So all of this has been completely scrapped. So this really doesn't look anything like it used to. The back of the park with the boardwalk completely gone. This totally doesn't look anything like it used to. This over here, not much, although the plaza back here, that remains as it was, and the mine train back here. Can you go to my workshop page, the dive machine called Oblivion? Yes, yeah, we'll look at that. They stapled me and I had to sit on the brake run for 5 minutes because the ops were so bad. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a major criticism of Iron Gwazi, is that the operations are just absolutely terrible. And often they are. And I think I rode that coaster 6 times when I was at the park. And sometimes were definitely worse than others. Sometimes it was really good. We had like I want to say we had like a minute and 15-second dispatch one time. I think part of it is the long trains. You have 12 cars. And they are a little bit unusual style for a lot of people that ride coasters if they're not familiar with RMCs and stuff like that. Apparently the horrid ops on Gwazi have something to do with the brakes, apparently, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not totally sure. Had a great day at Kings Island today. Oh, band player, you gonna be there tomorrow? Crowds were insane, but operations matched that. Got to every coaster before 6 and had to leave. Geo Gamer, hello, how are ya? I'm Italian guy. Awesome, well welcome. The issue, I was carrying friends' phones in my pockets and I got stapled to the extent where I have phone-shaped bruises. That actually does sound pretty rough. That'd be a sight to see, but don't show us. And it'd just be kind of one of those things that you look at and be like, holy crap, man. Like, what in the world? So yeah, but anyway, you can actually see the layout back here where we had the path go to the monorail. And it ultimately ended up connecting out this way. to the Mako coaster station, except the entrance used to be kind of on this side as opposed to back over here. And the revamped restaurant, we had the Helix, but we kind of rotated the restaurant. One day off from band player, bro. Oh man, that sucks. Geo, no, this is not my first park. So, this is the most current version of a park. Actually, earlier on, we looked at a very old version of this park that I had started last summer. And it looked almost totally different, but you can kind of see a few remnants of some stuff that keeps it kind of similar. But overall, this tropical themed park was my second large-scale park. The first one was the Viking one that I've done on some of my other streams here. Okay. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get out of that. Nostalgia aside, there's no nostalgia with this, really. That was the current version. Well, let's check out a few things here real quick. Now, we'll do a new park. Actually, no, we have room in this. Just to make Dale mad, I should mention he had a lazy river around a volcano. Well, you make me mad, thanks for reminding me. Not really, I'm kidding. That was in the middle version of the park. It's not in that newest one, but it wasn't yet designed in the oldest version. Alright. Let me get onto the workshop and check a few things out here. I've got to scroll back up for... Where is it? I'm going to cry. I blame Crazanity. Hey, Dino Dukes, welcome back. Okay, here's the code. Alright, found it. 16965 KMFJ. Iron circuit. Alright. You'll need to go through one of my creations and get to my workshop page. Suggest doing the Intamin Aiden version or Hellconder. We're not doing those. We already looked at those, man. No, you wanted us to look at the Oblivion. Cool to see. Are they in the Frontier Workshop? I have a couple things on there. It's a very cool RMC. Yeah, we already looked at this. They're great coasters. But let me find... Okay, that must be it. Oblivion Experiment Void. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, all I need to do is just go and find the most recent one that you created. So. But yeah, we gotcha. Mine is 8C8 such and such. It's called, I don't know, doesn't have a name yet. Like a creative name for a coaster. That's what Jimpers always does with his in the description. He's like, I don't know what to put here. He's like, I don't know, still don't know what to put here. I will never figure this out. Okay, here we go. I actually didn't even need the code. If you upload it immediately, it's just the most recent on the, on like the browse section. So, if you upload something right away, I can usually just go grab it from there. Safety nets. Place on paths below track to prevent loose items falling on and injuring guests. Or like, injuring other people on a different coaster. Dueling dragons. Which is absolutely tragic. Well, they've got some pretty good stuff on here. Wonder Woman, that's gotta be from, Magic Mountain. Mini Medusa? Wow. I was gonna say there's, Medusa, like the original floorless coaster, but with the mythology scenery in this game, there's so many great, like, animated pieces for Medusa-themed things. It's like I thought about... I had a mythology park that just never really took off, and... yeah... I could never get into it, and I had one really good flying coaster, which I saved. And then I had built a custom floorless coaster called Medusa, which I saved. But everything else, it kind of just... it never really clicked for me. So I ended up scrapping the park. But I have always thought about going back and doing like another mythology-themed park, or a park with a mythology section, and a Medusa coaster, titling it like Medusa Turned to Stone or something like that. But that also reminds me of a bad Yo Mama joke. I don't know if I should tell everybody, because it's Don't bring your phones or keys on rides, guys. My dad accidentally brought his car keys on Fury 325 and lost them. Thankfully, he had a spare. Oh yeah, did he ever get that one back? Kind of curious if he did. Alright, so let me just go in here, double check that we got 1, 2, and then we got the Oblivion one. Just need to make sure. Yep, okay. I don't know, doesn't have a name yet. I want to level it. Yeah, that's pretty good there. Nope, never got that car key back. So the day that you were at Carowinds... oh, hey. Bonsai, you need to re-update this. There is no coaster attached. The scenery is there, but the coaster is not. And the pathing is not. So you probably just need to go back through and make sure that when you go to save the blueprint, you have everything selected. Do you know how? If you don't, I'm more than willing to show you, to help you out with that. But let me undo that. Let me place the other two coasters here. But yeah, anyway, Crazanity, that last day that I was at Carowinds, actually the day that you were up there, I almost lost my phone. Actually, my phone slipped out of my pocket, and it was cradled in the back of the seat. How do you edit your creation? Alright. So what you're gonna do, I'm just gonna place one of mine down. So what I'll do is like this. And then what you're going to do is make sure that you have everything selected that you want. So you'll go in here, you'll come down to select all connected parts. And like if you want the building, what you'll do is hit the shift key, or you can click on that to plus. Make sure you plus, don't do this, because every time you click on something, it's just gonna select that. But what you'll do is make sure your ride is selected, make sure your scenery is selected. It should do the entire blueprint if you have that saved as a scenery blueprint. And then you can come through and like highlight the path. Then when you have all of that done, you'll come down here, save as blueprint, and then you'll go into the existing one that you want to replace. So, for example here, I'll scroll down until I find, yep, Treasure Tempest. And I'll come in here, you can move this around if you want. Make sure you have your title, your description, and save blueprint. I'm not actually going to do it because I don't want to modify the one that I already have, but that should be a good demonstration for you. I've got to remember the name of that other one that we're looking at. Circuit. Oh, cool. I like the look of this. Check ground level. Yeah, that looks pretty good, actually. We'll go ahead and place our entrance and exit. Okay. Let me go ahead and start with Crazy Entity's dive coaster here. So this is, whoops. The diagonal layout reminds me of a certain coaster that starts with Airy Force and ends with 1. Alright, let's go front bumper here. So this is a B&M narrow dive. It was more inspired by Untamed. Alright, let's skip up here to top of the lift. Holds the record for most inversions on an RMC hybrid. Alright. Do you want to try an Italian word? I can. Cool downward helix. Now you've got the corkscrew. Hey, a pop of air. That's actually a pretty good pop of air. And into the brakes. Oh, say, Il Coco. I know I probably don't pronounce it super well, but... yeah. So this is actually a really cool coaster. I really like the airtime that you've got. You've got a really nice airtime hill right here. And then actually this very last one before the brakes looks like it gives you some pretty good floater. You've got the helix here. This is pretty basic. It's not too intense with inversions and stuff. You've got just the Immelman. And I actually really do like this downward helix. And then you've got the corkscrew, the airtime hill, another 270 helix, the final airtime into the brakes. So it is a pretty short coaster, but I think what you're able to incorporate in this short of a ride is actually really neat. Those don't do anything near justice. So yeah, your lats are very tame. Your verticals, that's not overkill, but that's pretty high up there. And then yeah, minus 1.2. That's pretty unheard of on a B&M dive, which I actually really like. Yeah, but that looks good there. Okay, good. It's the coconut. Okay. Yeah, il coco, like a coconut. Great workaround. Let me catch back up here. Unfortunately, because Planet Coaster decided the name Oblivion the Void Experiment was too long, I ended up going with Oblivion Experiment Void instead. I wonder how... Oh, it's capped out. Yeah. That's a good coaster, though. Alright, while we're waiting on Bonsai to fix his blueprint for the upload, let's go ahead and check out Maddox Coaster or Velocituber Iron Circuit. I'm looking forward to this. I like a good RMC. Go front bumper. And we'll get that code here in a minute. Whoa! Bonsai, just hold on. I'll get to you in a sec. Yeah, we got some good stuff going on here. Actually, really like this. No, Dale, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to create new. He wants to upload. Hey man, this is really good. I like this a lot. Want to try one of my works? Yeah, we can look at one. Alright. So yeah, nice little fun pre-lift. That's actually a pretty steep drop. Give you a little pop of air and good positive G before you go up the lift hill. Beautiful truss. This is actually really neat. I like the incorporation of that. And you've got this real nice pop of air before the big. I'm not even sure what you would really call this. This is like a 3/4 roll, and then a 3/4 roll back the direction you came in from. That's a really, really nice 0G stall. I absolutely love these. It's one of my favorite elements on the RMC hybrids. Yeah, Geo, we can look at one of your coasters for sure. You got a really nice camelback right there. And then this is kind of interesting. Sideways air and it rolls back inward. And you get a little bit of outer bank airtime. Some pops of airtime. That's a really nice 0G roll. Another nice roll. Couple little final bunny hops. And then back into the brakes. Yeah, this was really nice. I like that. Let's see how it rated. Oh yeah. Yeah, look at that right there. Triple green. That's real good. Your lats are just a tiny bit on the high side. For realism purposes, you generally want to try to keep them below about 1.7 to 1.8. But being at 2.0 is, that's not bad at all. And then your verticals are really good. That's some really high negative Gs, which is really neat. But that's also kind of pushing your limits there. 5 inversions, 10 moments of airtime with almost 5 seconds. Yeah, the second inversion was a little bit rough. I did feel it got a little choppy in a couple spots. So maybe some gentle smoothing could help you out. But I think it's really nice. Could you spotlight one of my parks today or tomorrow or whenever you have time? Probably not today. Maybe the next time I do PC2. I don't know if I'm going to do a stream tomorrow night or not. But yeah, I mean, we can look at one of your parks. The first 2 inversions on this RMC is called the double inverting stall. Alright, well I learned something new. It's kind of interesting because it rolls out like 3/4. Okay, help, I've got everything selected, now what do I do? You'll come down here to this bar. Don't click out of anything. You have everything you selected you want. Save as blueprint. And then instead of new creation, well, you can save it as a new creation. Or what you can do is find the one that you want to update in this list. And then click it and save blueprint that way. Does that make sense? I made this like 5 months ago when I was brand new to the game, so it isn't the best compared to what I do now, but it's really good. Also, could you spotlight one of my parks tomorrow or today if that works? You asked me that already. Just upload a new one. Yeah, that might be the easier way. I don't think we're gonna do it today. This is not going to be a long stream. I said that last time and it ended up being over 2 hours. And that is not happening again tonight, so. Alright, Crazy Entity, what's up, man? Let me just reselect. Alright, let me get Dale's and Geo's codes real quick. We'll check those out. This is Sparta, FBKJJ. Yep, that's it. And let me get Geo's here real quick. So we have 6R5F7X9CY. The Abandoned Store Toy Pack. Alright, we can check it out. Oh, is this an indoor coaster? Oh, look at that, the Hurricane Harbor. Oh, it's a full-fledged park. That actually is neat. You really just don't see people making water parks. I'll never forget this. One night that Cookie was feeling really freaking good like 2 years ago, and he spotlighted 2 of my parks back to back. I thought I died and went to heaven. Hey, this game wasn't out 2 years ago. It wasn't that long, man. Alright. So, let me get this here. Set at ground level. Okay, so your entrance and exit have to come out over here. Just place it however. This game was not out 2 years ago. Game came out 1 year and 8 months ago. So not quite 2 years. Can you spotlight one more of my coasters if that works? Yeah, we can. But I'm gonna be drawing the cutoff here. Alright, what was the name of that coaster Dale made? Gotta go back and remember. Just go to my workshop. This is Sparta. Sparta. Oh, hold on a second. What in the world? Oh, it's all the... Next stream I'll have you look at Typhoon. It's an E&F miler inspired by Hurricane at Fun Spot Kissimmee. Okay. Kissimmee or Kissimmee, however you say it, I don't know. And I lived in Florida for a while and I never got it right. I think it's one of those things that's kind of a little bit subjective. Alright, this is probably good enough for now. I'll just make sure. Shoot. Let's fix that. It is tough to see because it's uneven. And that's just by virtue of... Oh, and that is still a fair bit underground. Like, holy cow. Yeah. Could bring that up. Yeah, when you have it based on like the surrounding terrain, it can kind of throw that off. So you might have to come back through and do all that, you know, terrain landscaping and everything like that. We're not going to do that for this. This is close enough. Get the general gist of the ride. Alright, and let me get Bonsai's code here. Okay, I'm cutting it off with those two. Not gonna do any more codes tonight. 2 JCY. Okay, that's that one. Typhoon is pretty short, not a long coaster. Could probably get it down this stream. I'm cutting it off for tonight. You're good though. There was probably a bit of a delay there. And there's bonsais. Okay. Okay, so we've got 4 more rides to look at tonight. We already looked at those. So we got 1, 2, and then bonsai and velocituber. Alright, you know what? I'm getting out of this. Terrain just feels quite a bit too uneven. So let's go into Sandbox, and I want to choose something relatively flat. Tropical and Temperate I think are okay. Let's go Temperate. Was the Cadillac train custom? No, it was a blueprint. Yeah, so this is relatively flat. There seemed to be too much terrain variation with the others, and I think I was starting to kind of get a little bit constrained on space there. So let me add these back in. We've got we got to get Dales, Sparta, and why it got saved with all of that miscellaneous. I don't know, but that makes it difficult to place. All good though. The problem I run into when they have such a big when you have such a big blueprint is that you can't really zoom in to see the location that you're going to be trying to level it, since it's kind of rotating around center. Can you do mine first? I don't know, bonsai. I haven't really thought about it. But we're going to get to it, so just hang in there. And we have the abandoned store from Geo. This is actually not that large, so it kind of fits in a compact area. So actually, if we tuck this back like that, it actually fits very nicely. And we'll place our entrance and exit. JP, how are you, man? I'm doing alright. It has been kind of a frustrating day with work and all whatnot, but I'm okay. You may only have like 20 minutes. Okay. Alright. Just hang on here. Probably gonna head to bed around 10:15 or 10:30. Need to get some well-needed rest for Kings Island tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can tell you, I'm not even going to be streaming that late. So, we're going to check out these 4 rides. And then I do kind of want to try to tease a little bit of a new park idea, but I'm not going to get started on it tonight. But then, yeah, I'm done after that. Alright, who's the one that said I need to do some terrainscaping? Bonsai. Let me make sure. So this was Maddox's, or Velocituber. I don't even know what to call it. I think we need the Western Park next. You know, Crazanity, I'm actually not a huge fan of the Western theme. But I have a feeling I could incorporate it into an area of a park, but I would not do an entire park themed off of it. Alright, so this is the coaster one. Yeah, there we go. Rotate it. Level it. That's pretty good at ground level there. Does need a little bit of terrain work. Ah. By the way, I'm making videos on YouTube, Planet Coaster 2. Awesome! Are they in English? Well, I know you said you're, Italian, and I mean, I'm sure there would still be some really cool stuff to see. But like, if you're doing live streams or something like that, and you're not speaking English, it can be very difficult to catch people that don't speak, in your case, Italian. And I've seen that from experience, unfortunately. Nothing wrong with it. I think Italian is beautiful. But if you're doing, like, just videos of things you make without commentary and stuff, then you don't have to worry about it. But even if you don't understand what's going on, you do have the ability to, YouTube can kind of caption the speech and translate it and stuff like that. So I think either way, it would still be worth checking out for sure. Alright, did we get all of that? I hope so. That is, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Alright, so we've got these 4 rides to check out. Since Bonsai's short on time, we'll go ahead and do his first. So it's a B&M sit-down looper. We'll go front bumper. But I'm about to do it. Awesome! I remember I tried starting a mythology park at the start of the game, made it through about 5 saves, and added an Intamin Giga and just stopped working on it. Yeah. Yeah, my mythology park never really went anywhere. Ooh! There's the Axeman. Got the dragon. Drive tire launch, alright. Yeah, it's the wrong coaster type, my bad. Yeah, it might be, but you know what? I love the B&M sit-downs. If you go in and change the setting that lets you switch... Oh, sorry, I get the hiccups. Switch the train type, you can go back through and choose a few different ones. Like, for example, have you ever seen a Gerstlauer train on a B&M sit-down 4-wide spine track? If you want to look at it. There you go. Actually looks pretty funny. Have the Gerstlauer on there. Oh man. Gerstlauer trains on a B&M track. You could actually switch to lap bars. That would make sense. It is a smooth ride, and it actually does have a little bit of airtime to it, so it does look like fun. Alright, no, tell me though, why in the world is that only 2 cars long? God, that looks so cursed. Alright, Dino Dukes, have a great evening, man. Thanks for hanging out, okay? Yeah, it is a really good coaster, actually. So disregard that we have the short trains on. Actually, if we wanted to, yeah, we could do 6 there. Now we'd have to let it run a circuit. But I think the theming is really neat. You don't have an option to change the car for my game. Are you on console? I don't know the option available for console, but if you're on PC like me, what you can do is go to Settings and Game Options, go in and choose Allow Interchangeable Coaster Cars and turn that on, and then it'll let you switch it out. I feel like that thing should have never existed. A Gerstlauer doesn't belong on B&M track. Yeah, I agree. I was just curious how it would look. It looks pretty horrid. Yeah, so that's how you do that. Just come in here, turn this on. Do you only have the ability to have 1 train? Yep. So what I think you should do is probably add a section of block brakes. It actually looks like you tie into the station with trim brakes. So add a section of block, and that might be able to allow you a second train on the coaster. What would you change the car to? I think if you're gonna change it, I would go with the B&M sit-down lap bar restraints, which are basically your hypercoaster trains. This is a hot take in just my opinion, but the fairy tale theme is a nothing burger. Yeah, I gotta say that's a hot take. It's definitely not my favorite, but I think it does have some pretty cool stuff going for it. Where should I add the block brakes? Right here at the end of the coaster. Like right here before the station. You could do it here, you could do it at the second one right there. It is the same on console? Okay. Yes, I would put your blocks on one of those 2 right there. But yeah, no, you've got a really solid coaster right here. For what you built, which is a pretty small scale, kind of family-oriented, non-inverting coaster, these are some pretty good stats. And if you take a look at these here, these are pretty modest, but they're definitely not, like, really gentle. So I think you've managed to capture just a really good family-themed and family-oriented coaster, but making it fun. You're not able to change it to block brakes. Oh yeah, because this is too long. So I'll show you what to do here. You're gonna delete this. Then you're gonna come in here, add a block brake, shorten it to 4 meters. And then go back to either friction or trim, whatever you were using here, whatever you prefer. Probably trim. And then just reconnect your track right there. That's how you'll be able to add the blocks back in. Dale, no you did not. We have not gotten to it yet. That's actually... We're gonna do Geo's, and then we'll do yours, and then we'll do Veloci's. Gonna save his for last, because we already did look at one of his today. Yeah, I saw a YouTuber I watched just ranking some games in a 1 versus all format, and he even said it's his opinion and people are saying horrible stuff on Twitter. Well, of course, you're going to have people that hate. But it's just because people... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go there. There are people who get all bent out of shape when somebody else says something they disagree with. And that's not the way that it should be. You completely have a right to disagree. You have a right to voice your disagreement. But I think at the end of the day, you have to do so in a respectful manner. Counter the argument. Don't counter the person. You know? Veloci can go before me. No, it's fine. I'm saving his for last because we already looked at one of his today. I'm gonna recreate the wave at Drayton Manor in the UK using the Infinity Trains on B&M track. You can't stop me. Yeah, but we can make fun of you for it. Make sure you go at night. I saw a title called ASIM Games, Horrible Games for Horrible People. Yeah, just what in the world? That's just kind of stupid. Alright, Geo said we gotta set the time to night. So we're gonna go to night. Midnight. And we can change the weather to try to darken it. Oh yeah, that helps. That actually does do a bit better. Jimpers, how are you, man? Alright, so here is the coaster. That's a bike and sidecar. Okay. It was hard to tell because you can't see anything from outside. Oh. Do we need? No, that defeats the purpose. That's too bright. Okay. We'll go front bumper. And we'll go ahead and catch, we'll go ahead and catch, sorry, just getting caught up on chat there. Catch the POV from here. So this is like a indoor sort of like abandoned toy warehouse sort of thing. Whoa. Boy, that was disorienting. Yeah, I think we'll ride it off the first time, and then we'll do it again on the second time. Dale, let's not go there. Because both sides. The block sections aren't working, so I'll just keep it the same. It's not meant to be realistic anyway. Yeah, that's okay. Well, I've already asked this, but can anyone think of a way I build I can build a coaster and have the building change for 2 runs through. Yeah, I'm not really sure. The best way that I can think of how to do that would be... see if you can do triggers that only trigger after a certain number of times, but I'm not sure. Okay, now what we will go ahead and do is turn this back to the middle of the morning, and we'll zoom into the building, and rather than ride it, because it's pretty straightforward actually when you look at it, but what you can see is the toy box theme back here. So your station is over here, and you've got the launches. You got a nice curved section back here, and it just kind of swings back around, and you've got the hill. Oh, it's a little bit tough to maneuver in here. There we go. So this actually comes back and around, launch section, and then you've got the two spikes are like right here. It's actually a drop track, I think. But this is neat. I like this. It's creative. Geo, you did a really good job with this. I think this is very creative. It's fun. It looks nice. It's pretty mild, but this is, I mean, based on the size, the height, this is clearly not meant to be an overly thrilling coaster. It's meant to be fun. And I think what you put together really reflects that. I would pay attention a little bit to the laterals. You probably just have a turn somewhere that makes that a little bit high. But otherwise, everything looks really solid. This is a real fun coaster. Really nice family theme to it. What should your next coaster be? Vekoma SLC. No. Well, I mean, you can if you want. It's not my type of coaster, but you can do a Vekoma SLC. Okay, so that is 2 of the 4 coasters tonight. Yeah, we'll take a look at Dale's here. Spartan Run. This is Sparta. And this is a B&M sit-down looper. So, if any of you ever played RCT or RCT2, they always called these twister coasters. So that's what I think of when I look at this. I think the first thing that pops in my mind is B&M Twister. Just a holdover from the old day of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 and 3, I think. I think 3 called it the same. Alright, let's get on. Front bumper, yep, it's not obstructed. Yeah, sometimes you have to double check, because if there's like custom scenery pieces on front of the train, then it actually can interfere with the front bumper POV. So in that case, we would just switch back to one of the front row seats. A sub, by the way. Thank you so much, Geo. I appreciate that. The Vekoma SLC word horrifies me. Got the drive tire launch. I really like that. Nice Immelman. Into a... I don't know what that was. I did one Vekoma SLC in my life. It had vests. Still the worst coaster I've ever ridden. I bet. Ow. Alright, super long station. Longer than a Viking longboat. A Viking boat impersonation. With the drums and the chanting. Oh, look at that right here. 8.3 on the excitement. That's really good. That fear was a bit high. Your nausea is in the green, though. What C plaster type should I do? What C plaster? What's C plaster type? I don't know what you're talking about, actually. Scandinavian coaster station, yeah. Oh, what coaster type? Oh. I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of good ones. I mean, I can give you a couple suggestions of some of my favorite. Stupid autocorrect. I say that at least 5 times a day, man. It's all good. We'll go over them here in a minute. If you want to know what I was screaming the whole time on the SLC, I was saying, let it be over, please make it stop, make it stop. And I would imagine you were thinking in your head, T3 sucks a few times, even though T3 wasn't the one that you were on. So... Oh, you know what, Crazanity? Would you still put that as worse than Kitty Hawk? Because that one was an absolute abomination. So this is... Oh, yeah, look at that. 8.39 and 6.8. So you've got the drive tire launch, which I really like. Got the turnaround here. I'm not even sure what to call this. You've got like an Immelman into a Sidewinder. Overbank to turn. And this is where it starts to feel a little bit awkward because of the reverse banking. And you've got this really... This is kind of a trademark of a Dale coaster, but I actually like the way that... I like the way that you put this together. This is actually... This is among the best that I've seen you execute. This kind of... like roll and outer turn, and then the helix. But this back here, this is kind of a what the moment for me. Like, this is just kind of wonky to me. I would bring the brakes, I would level them a little bit, I would bring them out this way around the hut, and then try to run the coaster into it kind of that way or something. I could play around with it. Your lats are high, your verticals are not that much, but negative 3.6 on the negative G's. I'm actually really curious to see where that is. Let's go back to the previous run and we'll pause right here. Minus 1.1. Oh, right here. Holy cow. Right here? Do it and show people like Bonsai. We have talked about this before. And you know how to do it. So I would keep that hill in there. But then what I would probably do is just kind of run your drive tires. You can even add a little bit of a curve like that. Let's do a 4-meter. Bonsai, yeah, it's gonna be off pretty soon. I know I chased the high scores. Yeah, so we'll actually switch that. You do your blocks here. And you could probably do some additional tires over here. Kind of running around the back of the house. We'll do blocks. And this is where it would kind of start to get interesting, because you gotta taper this. So I would do your friction brakes all up through there, and then however you want to reconnect it. If you want to actually kind of give it a banked curve into this, you might need more brakes. More brakes. Than doing a banked turn here, just because of how much speed the coaster's carrying back here. But something like that, you know, is how I would do it. But yeah, there's... Well, if you look at this, yeah, this is such a sharply profiled, airtime hill, even with the, over here. That's... Well, so you've got the drive tire launch, friction brakes, drive tire launch, friction brakes. That doesn't really make any sense. Use brakes if you need to slow the train down a little bit for your target speed up over this, and use the drive tire launch if you need a little bit of a boost to reach your target speed at the top of this hill. Like I said, this is really nicely executed, and you've got a lot of fun elements on the ride. This is fun. I love SLC's hot takes. Kitty Hawk ranks 162 out of 163. Oh! Yeah, SLCs have good layout. It's just the roughness that's keeping me from enjoying them. I'd like to think when they were a thing being built back in the 90s, when they were new, that they were actually really fun. But I don't know. I never went on one. Alright, last coaster of the night. This here by Velocituber. There we go. I had that paused after looking at the heat map. I actually want to ride this from the car, since it's Cadillac themed. Oh, you've got the oil spill. Oil slick on the floor. I saw the POV for this coaster earlier. Awesome! Whoa! next right, Splash Emporium. Yeah, this is really slick. Oh, a nice outer banked curve. Switch track. Got a very nice top hat. Here's where it gets kind of wild. Awesome 0G stall. I love that. Man, we should have put some rock music on this. Alright. Back on the drive tires. Oh. That like a trigger effect. Think some spots could use improvement, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I do too, and do keep in mind, he did say that this was one of his earlier coasters before he got really good at building them, so it was definitely rough compared to some of his newer stuff. I think the theming is awesome. You gotta say that. The theming is absolutely awesome. And yeah, we can go ahead and get off this here. And I think what you have going on is really unique. I mean, you've got the little kind of intro inside the workshop or the warehouse, so to speak. Then you've got your little outdoor part. This is where I think it needs the most work, to be honest, is out here. Kind of in the parking lot where it's going slower, but you still have a good bit of stuff going on. And then once you get kind of into the woods off-road and you get to the switch track, I actually think it felt considerably smoother on the last part of the ride back through here. I think these were very nice, actually. And then when you come through and you're picking up all that speed to come around the back and into the final, I think that could use a little bit of work. I haven't been on the game recently. I gotta get back to it, actually. He makes exceptions for jumpers. Sometimes I do. But, yeah, it's 10:15. I'm tired. Can you save it for next time? Because I think we have a couple other things to check out another night as well. Alright, Bonsai, welcome back. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get off. I did want to give a little teaser of a new park. I know some of you have been begging. Cookie new park, starting a new park chant. Or something. Yeah, I did not plan on doing this for an hour and 55 minutes. I thought this was going to be an hour stream, hour and 10. Same thing that I did last time. Thought it was going to be short and y'all keep me glued to my chair. Oh, man. But anyway. Yeah. This coaster is an actual parking lot coaster. Yeah, it is. I really like this though. This is cool. It's got some really great theming to it. All 4 of these are very unique, and I really like that. They all have great individuality. By the way, I uploaded the video where I made the coaster. So, I've had a couple ideas for some parks. One of them I wanted to do kind of a mix of a few different themes in the taiga biome. In fact, I'm gonna just go ahead up into... And I could actually even open up a poll to share some ideas, but with it being late, maybe what I'll do is, I'm not trying to bribe people to get into my Discord, but if you're there, check it out. I'll probably share more ideas there. But if we go into the taiga biome, one idea I have is going to be a new park in this biome, kind of with a mix of themes. So I want to do something kind of with a couple different sections. I want to do something with the sorcery theme, for sure. Definitely a remake of some stuff that I had, or well, still have, in the Viking Park. I thought about maybe incorporating a medieval kind of fairy tale area, kind of in conjunction with the sorcery section. And the last area, and I actually had originally talked about doing an entire park themed off of this, but I thought it might be a little bit difficult, was kind of a Yukon or Klondike theme area, where you'd have like a thick pine tree forest, a little western town, some gold mine kind of themed coasters, something like that. So that is one idea that I had. Go back into another sandbox park, and I'll actually stay in the I'll stay in this without actually switching, going in. But one of them was actually a new tropical, kind of off of the Paradise Lost. So that was one, kind of with a pirate theme area, a surf themed area. This would be a little bit of a smaller scale park. I think with the Viking and tropical parks that I have now, I think I did too much with them, because they were too massive. They felt barren at times. Even by turning the guest cap up to 12,000, they felt a bit empty. And there was so much stuff that it started being a bit resource intensive, and I have a pretty intense, pretty powerful computer, so I knew I probably did a little too much with it. So that's an option. And then the other thing that I thought about doing was a park, and this is probably the one that I have the best idea of, like the best vision of, is a park called Adriatica, based on the Adriatic Sea, kind of surrounded by Italy, not really Greece per se, because it's a bit further south, but we'd be able to do some sort of like a mythology area. You could do kind of a tropical resort in the middle, maybe some sort of like a mountainous themed, and that would be probably more of a temperate or tropical biome, although maybe Mediterranean actually would be the best. So maybe I'll share some details on that. Folks, I've got a Discord. Link is in the description if you are interested in joining. We talk about coasters and PC2 coasters in the real world, and then I do share a little bit of stuff on other games and some flying stuff. So if you're interested, you can check that out. But, yeah, I don't know. Kind of, what do you all think about those 3 ideas? I'll even open up a poll. So I'd say which of the 3? I say, I want to make a Lord of the Rings theme park at some point. That would actually be really neat. Boy, I can imagine that would be very difficult. But yeah, if you were able to pull that off, I think it would be extremely impressive. So... I'm gonna build my old park into something special. Check out finishing bonsai he was making one at one point. That would be really neat. Alright, so let's see here. We have we've got 3 votes for... Nope, it's 4 now. 4 votes for the northern kind of Viking Yukon theme, and I have to say, of the starting scenery pieces or sets, really. I would have to say the Viking is my favorite of them. And the sorcery, I think, is the best one that they've come out with in the DLC. See, I really like the Adriatica Park idea. Well, it may come down to one of those 2. I think with just the expansive tropical park that I made, I think there's some stuff that could be done with that to keep it alive. I want to see you make a steampunk theme park. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool, but that's not my cup of tea, to be honest. It's something I've got to really kind of feel the theme for. Just gave you a shout out on my channel. Man, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So that's so cool of you. Alright. It is almost 10:30. I have officially breached the 2-hour mark. 2 hours and 3 minutes and change. So it is going to be time for me to go ahead and call it a night. But I hope you all enjoyed this. Everybody that had something showcased really did a great job with it. All very individual, unique works. They were all really neatly themed. I think the ride experiences on each of them, while radically different, were a lot of fun. Sorry, I just had to get up and check something real quick. But yeah. Alright, y'all. Yep, so that's gonna be it for me tonight. But, thank you all so much for hanging out. Hope to catch you all again soon. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing PC2 tomorrow. There is the potential, but I'm undecided. I've got Gonna make it through one more day of work, and got a fair bit of stuff to do back here at the house, but I do want to try to put something together. Certainly for this weekend, but stay tuned. And so yeah, again, hope you all enjoyed it, and hope to catch you all in the next one. And as always, until next time, folks, take care, stay safe.